Good morning, everyone. This is Lynn Sugiyama, speaking on behalf of the Arizona Buddhist Temple. To begin, please join me in Gasho. This is the reading from Shinran Shoni's Wasan, Hymns of the Pure Land Masters. The sages of the Buddha's pure lotus are born, transformed from the flower of perfect enlightenment. Thus, the aspiration of sentient beings are swiftly and completely fulfilled there in the Pure Land. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning. Thank you again for listening to me. This is on the YouTube channel Dharma in the Desert. I hope all of you are safe and healthy. I also want to thank Van Sensei and Michael Sensei for always sharing their appreciation of the Buddhist teachings with all of us on the YouTube channel also. You know, this past summer, in June of 2019, my wife and my daughter and I, we were able to go on this trip to Japan with a group of about 45 people from the Arizona Buddhist Temple. And it was fortunate that we were able to go last year in June instead of trying to go this year, because there's no way we could have gone this year. But it was a great experience for everyone, and it's a trip that I will never forget. We're able to visit the temples like in Gifu, where my father's temple is at, and also to go to the mother temple, Honganji, in Kyoto, Japan. And so it was great that we were able to go to Tokyo, the capital, and also to Gifu, to Kyoto, the former imperial capital, and also to Hiroshima, and then back to Tokyo, where we were able to go to Tokyo Disney Sea, and also visit museums and other places there in Japan. And so it was a great experience, and I hope that the junior YBA had fun and also learned a lot from their trip in Japan. You know, we saw many beautiful images there, but one of the things that I really enjoyed was to see the many flowers blooming in Japan. One of the flowers that we saw was the Lotus Flower, and it was lucky that we were able to see the Lotus flowers blooming in Japan during that time. So this is just a picture that I took at that time. This is the Lotus Flower, and you can see the big green leaves, and there's a pot of water and mud which this Lotus Flower is blooming from. So in Buddhism, the Lotus Flower has great symbolism for all of us. So I want to share this with everyone listening to me today. You know, in the Wasan, in the hymn that I read, it says that all of us who have faith in the Amida Buddha, our mind is just like this lotus flower blooming from the mud in the pond. And the mud symbolizes the greed, the anger, the ignorance that we have in our mind. And so by learning the Buddhist teachings, by understanding that this life is limited, that the truth of this life is that all of us experience a bumpy road, and that this life is filled with delusions. When we have this mind of enlightenment, our mind blooms like this lotus flower from the mud of greed anger, and ignorance. And so Shiran Shonin said that followers of Nam Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha, are just like the lotus flower because their heart and mind blooms into this flower of enlightenment. So enlightened beings, enlightened persons like ourselves become examples, become teachers for other people in their practice and in their understanding of Nam Amida Butsu. So it's a great miracle that we are able to have and share this faith in Amida Buddha, and that the Nembutsu grows in the hearts and minds of the people who listen to the Buddha's teachings. So faith, we say, is often very hard to grow in the human mind. It is taught, though, that from the beginning of faith is planted by the compassion of the Amida Buddha. So when we attain this faith, when we have this interesting heart and mind, this what we call Shinjin, then we realize this fact and become very grateful to the Amida Buddha for his goodness. It is hard to hear the Buddha's teachings, and it is even harder to awaken this faith in our heart and mind, and that we're often doubting the Buddhist teachings that we hear. So Shiran Shonin once said that, the other ministers, the other priests in Japan who are far more learned, far more educated than he was. However, through the teachings of his master, Honen Shonin, he was able to realize and understand the meaning of Namu Amida Butsu. And he felt that there was no other teaching that gave him this peace of mind, his ability to understand and to be able to share that with other people. So he said that it's because of this teaching that it worked for him, and he felt that this could also work for other people, this understanding of Namu Amida Butsu. So he believed that there was great value in understanding Amida Buddha's wish, his promise, that everyone who said Namu Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha, that they were able to find fulfillment and to find spiritual peace and happiness and be able to go to the Pure Land where they're able to become enlightened people. So I encourage all of you to hear, understand, and appreciate the Buddhist teachings and to have an open mind and heart when you hear them. This is the beginning of May, and May marks the time of warmer weather and the blooming of flowers and the greening of our environment, with trees and grass. And so this also marks the time when we honor the birth date of Shiran Shonin. He was born May 21st, 1173. So this is some over 840 years ago that we honor the birth of Shiran Shonin. Shiran Shonin, he lived this life of awareness. And this means that he was aware of himself and how he related to other people and his environment. And he understood that life can be very tough and unpredictable, but it's also filled with many happy moments. And so for us, especially during this time right now, we truly see how life can be so unpredictable. But we also can share happiness with others and for ourselves. And so the Buddha wanted to teach people to truly examine themselves and to see the truth that this life is filled with dukkha, filled with this dissatisfaction, but to find happiness in it also. So I hope that through saying Namo Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha, that we find gratitude and sincerity, and that we have no doubt in Amida Buddha's promise for us to be born in the Pure Land. So by understanding this teaching, our mind can bloom just like the lotus flower blooms from the pot of mud and water. So we too can find perfect enlightenment and bloom just like that flower, and that we swiftly and completely go to our birth in the Pure Land, the land of peace and bliss. So I want to thank you for listening to me today. I want you all to be safe and healthy. And I also want to end this, I want to share 2 jokes with you. One is, have you heard of the Buddhist vacuum cleaner? The Buddhist vacuum cleaner has no attachments. And the other joke is, one day the Buddha was given this present, a box with a bow on it. And when he opened the box, it was empty. So Buddha exclaimed, "Aha! Now I have a box and it is filled with emptiness." So I hope that you're able to understand and to appreciate these jokes, and that I hope that it lightens up your day today. So in closing, I'd like to read from the Wasan again, the hymns of the Pure Land Masters. The sages of Buddha's pure lotus are born, transformed from the flower of perfect enlightenment. Thus, the aspiration of sentient beings are swiftly and completely fulfilled there in the Pure Land, the land of peace and bliss. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you for listening.